message from one of my friends earlier in the show today. I'm going to read it in part again. It's from Tracy Weiner, who said, 2 years ago at this time, we were all shut down and home, and the kids at Downers Grove North did not get to perform their annual show in front of a live audience. So they created this, and then it's what you're hearing is the audio of the video. It's one of those mosaics where all of the kids working from home were sending in their solo parts for a choral arrangement. Remember the screens where you'd see everybody all participating as one? You showcased it, John. There are now 12,000 views. Thanks for propelling it 2 years ago right now. I still listen to it because it's so beautiful. This is the Downers Grove North 2020 Virtual Hallelujah Chorus. It's amazing that they were able to do that. Brayer Teague is the Fine Arts Department Chair at Downers Grove North. Brayer, that still sounds good, doesn't it?
Oh, John, thank you so much for having me today, and it does still sound good. I was just speaking with some colleagues today, and while none of us would ever want to repeat the pandemic or experience the repercussions that came from it, we do look back on that video with a smile. It's a historical record of sorts of what we lived through corporately, and also a reminder to us as teachers of the resilience of our students to find a way to continue traditions that are important to them.
It was so nice for the kids to have that way to connect because we were all so isolated. How many kids involved in the choir there?
Well, we have about 150 students involved in the choir, and then with the instrumentalist that'll be involved in tonight's Mosaic concert, we should have over 250 students performing that piece live tonight. This tradition for our school dates back over 90 years. This is my 30th year at WGN, but that tradition preceded me by more than 60 years, so it's something that's been pretty important in our community.
Wow. And what a coincidence that my friend pointed that out to me yesterday, and tonight's the night. And you call it the Mosaic concert?
Yeah, I would love the fact that you mentioned those tiles that we all got so used to seeing during the pandemic on Zoom screens and how that created a mosaic of sorts on the screen. But we've actually always called this the Mosaic concert because one piece of music leads directly into the next without any significant pause. So the last few notes of one piece become the first few notes of the next, and the lights shift from one section of the auditorium to the next. And it creates, we call it a Mosaic concert because we think of each of those pieces of music as being representative of one particular part of our program, and all these small mosaics kind of create the whole.
We posted the video of that on my webpage at WGNradio.com, and on my Facebook page, I'm WGN King John. So the kids all sent in their parts individually, and then you tiled them together. Is that right?
Yeah, really a big shout out to my colleague and friend Ariel Moses, who's our auditorium manager. He would have typically, in a non-pandemic year, he would be spending all of his energy focusing lights all over the auditorium in preparation for this concert. And in that particular year, he just worked tirelessly to take all of those videos that were submitted by individual students and put them together into what you were sharing again with the world today. And we really appreciate that.
Well, I know it's obvious, but maybe it's worth saying. And I had a son who was in sports in school and a son who was in music in school. And their experiences were similar. You know, we so champion the kids that succeed in the baseball field or football field or the volleyball team, but music brings the same sort of team, energy, cooperation, discipline, all the things that you want from extracurricular activities, and then to hear it at once, all come together. One of my listeners watched the video today and said, goosebumps, goosebumps.
Well, yeah, I've always loved your Brightside segment, and I have to tell you, I think teachers experience Brightside moments like this nearly every single day working with wonderful students. And so if you really want to feel uplifted, you know, I would love to invite your listeners, if they can, to come on out to Downers Grove North tonight. We have two concerts, one at 5:30 and another at 8 p.m. We repeat it. It's free and open to the public. And if you want to feel inspired, I know sometimes the news gets us down, but these young adults are just inspiring to work with every day, and we can't wait to allow them to present these musical gifts to the world.
Brayer Teague is the Fine Arts Department Chair at Downers Grove North. Have a great afternoon and evening, Brayer.
Hey, thanks so much, John. Happy holidays to you.
radio. The Supreme Court is considering two really